Hey guys, before we get into today's video, I want to give you a quick heads up that it's a long one, but it's also a great one. It's with AY, who is the CEO and founder of Yodaphone in Hong Kong and also Nova Esports. I thought about clipping this into several different videos, but that's just not my style. I just like one big video for you guys. So instead of clipping it into multiple videos, I went ahead and I made in the description timestamps of every topic that we talk about. That way, if you guys are more interested in one thing versus the other, you can easily navigate through the video. So with that said, go ahead and enjoy the chat I had with AY. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. I am so excited today because I have on a guest. I've been trying to get on the channel for quite a while. It's difficult when we're on the other side of the world from each other, but it's none other than AY. He is the founder and leader of Nova Esports. He's also the owner of Yodaphone from Hong Kong. AY, how you doing, man?
Hi, Clash. Glad to be interviewed by you. Glad to be on your videos or on your voice videos or whatever, because I really enjoy your YouTube as well as I'm also your subscriber. Yeah, I'm your follower as well.
Wow, thank you so much, man. That means a lot to me. Thank you. I think that you're going to be such an amazing guest because you are really you, along with a few others, like Bren Chong, AY. I can't think of many other people who have such a stake in such a philanthropic nature when it comes to esports in general, mobile gaming esports in particular, and even like Clash Royale being the most specific. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about your history to start out with, and then we'll move into what you think about esports and Clash Royale and other games and mobile games, and we'll ask you even about Nova and how you run, how you find pros and how people can get involved with Nova. So let's start out by just tell us a little bit more about yourself. To a lot of folks out there, you're a bit of a mystery, It's AY is God, and that's all we know about you. So can you tell us a little bit about your history as an entrepreneur and then how it led you to mobile gaming?
I start playing games very long time ago since the first prototype of the Nintendo. So
Oh,
I think
nice.
maybe a lot of our players or a lot of this generation haven't touched or haven't seen the Nintendo, the first video games in the world. I start from this, and from that perspective, I fall in love with games. So I'm a real gamer from decades ago. Up till now, I'm still pretty enjoy in playing video games and mobile games, whatever kind of games. It depends on time, but of course, I really enjoy playing games on the car, on the plane, or even in the toilet.
That's where we all start, right?
This is the most private time for me
Yes, it
to
is.
play
It's just
games,
like
and it's quite focused. It's quite
absolutely.
focused.
You're alone. You're yeah, you're at peace, and we'll leave it there, I guess. But so when you were, how did you get in? Well, you're the owner of Yodaphone. Can you tell us just a little bit, just out of curiosity, about
Mm.
what you do at
Yeah,
Yodaphone?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because I think it's I just answered part of the question. I think the
sure.
most uh in fact I'm a professional accountant
Okay,
from after my graduations, and I am doing business consultants for, and also corporate rescuing for company.
okay.
And during the times, I met one of my good mentor, and he headhunted me to join as a corporate financial controller. And from that perspective, I already entered into the commercial world. Uh, and it's only at that time I only is around 24, yeah, 24 something, yeah. But then afterwards, I gradually move on, and then I joined JP Morgan, when it's in early 2000, and since then I entered into the investment banking world. After the over 10 years in the investment banking, I retired from the banking and start my own business. I do whatever kind of investment that can profit. That means it may be property investment, it may be stock investment, it may be VC, it may be angel investor or whatever. I invest a lot of different kinds of things. So Yotaphone is one of my investment, and I also invest in some voice over IP, but now it's obsolete. I also invest in some other traditional business, like for example the constructions, logistic, etc. So, but then this is all profit making or much more business oriented.
Hmm.
But for the esport wise, I think I actually start Nova simply because a lot of friends or peers we want to play together. So we set it up and built a Nova Glance, built a Nova community, and start from that. We have a lot of players, we have a lot of followers, we have a lot of fans, and from that perspective, I think uh, I observe the market. Uh, the esports trend actually is upcoming. In especially in North America, already been is a have a full ecosystem. Although Asia is not, but North America have a full ecosystem. I talked to many of our players, many of the market participants in this esports world, and I believe from what we built for Nova, uh, I believe we can build it in a more professional way. So I grew up together with Trevor. I think a lot of people know him,
Hmm.
Trevor, and also Matthew. We uh, built it as a first kind of management team for the Nova esports organization. From there, I think a lot of people know us is we almost conquered the ladder.
Indeed.
Yeah, 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 and then and also we built a pretty strong pro team. Now we have the first tier pro team, and then the uh, alternative for the first tier pro team may be the pro team A and pro team B, because some team member is actually is very good, but maybe they are too young to participate in international event, so maybe they need to sit on the pro team at the team A and team B, like football club. Actually, like for the pro team management, it's like a football club. We have coach, we have leader, we have player, we have a lot reserve, and also we keep uh, recruiting new player in and out to ensure we have the most competitive roster if we want to form the competition, as well as because a lot of player are still at school. So sometimes because of their personal agenda or whatever, we need to ensure we have the most competitive roster in place. So that's why we will have some alternate player in Team A and Team B in order making sure we can run it more smoothly. This is
Hmm.
how the pro team. And for the Nova itself, I think it's we build it as a community for gamer,
Yeah.
for gamer and fans.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys have definitely, I mean, your presence in the game at the top of the leaderboard and in competitive teams and leagues has definitely, stood on its own as being the top of the game. I want to kind of rewind a little bit and ask you about when Clash Royale first came out, when you created Nova originally. What made you, because you said earlier that as a businessman, you always kind of intended to make smart financial investments, right? So
Mm.
early on in the game, you put a large financial stake into Clash Royale. You have all these max accounts, and you weren't afraid to go after the best players and try to contract them in the game. At that point in the game, it's changing a little bit now, but at that point in the game, it was not necessarily a lucrative aspiration because there was no big live events around mobile gaming at all, really. Some semi big events in Vainglory, but really nothing in Clash Royale. Why did you do that? Was it long-term strategy, kind of betting that this game would be successful, or was it just because you loved the game so much, or somewhere in between?
I maybe I from it is from the root of my game playing attitude. I think it's
Okay.
I always want to win.
Okay. All right.
When I come across a game and I love to play the games, and I always want to win, and I always want to try the ways to win it in a better way. So, for example, in like the Clash Royale, okay, simply I max many accounts and I played quite good, and also we also find some player to or pusher to play accounts which can enhance the clan ranking or whatever.
Hmm.
At that point, I have no business aspiration.
Okay.
There's nothing.
So that was
It's
just you
simply
wanting to compete.
yeah. It's only me because I
That's a
want
lot of
to
money,
win.
AY.
I think is a lot of people ask me the question why I put a lot of money.
Hmm.
In fact, in our in Asia country or in China, there's before Clash Royale, there's a lot of games.
Hmm.
We will put maybe a few 100,000 honkies or even more for a single game
Wow.
because we I don't know, maybe it's addictive or maybe uh, because of the I really want to win. This
Yeah.
kind of attitude drive us to try to spend more money on the games. But up to the point of Clash Royale, I spend quite a bit of money. But then I realize is if I only get an individual winning, or if my account only at a top five or even top three or even the number one, from that particular angle, I'm not uh, feeling is enough. So that's why I have more accounts, find pusher to play the accounts and boost up the glance ranking up to the top number
Hmm.
one. But
Hmm.
then at that moment, I met so many people because of I need to get a lot of pusher.
Hmm.
I get a lot of member, and from that perspective, I know a lot of people, and they give me a lot of ideas and give me a better knowledge on esports. So that's why from that perspective, from a purely gameplay compete on myself
Uh-huh.
and translate it. Maybe I think it's maybe I translate into an esports organization. Is it the way uh, which makes the our glance or our Nova even much more popular, and that means we can win better or whatever. Then from that perspective, is why that I start from no business aspiration from from the start, but now I think I would treat Nova Esport is as a business from
Okay.
not only not only business, but also have my own uh, personal interests,
Hmm. It's your
or
passion.
maybe yes, because I believe the current generations on the next generation or the past 10 decades generations. the, the bandwidth of the age group, actually the habits, the life, and the time they spend on the internet is much more than before. And
Hmm.
games, in fact, also account for a major big chunk of times if they are on internet. So this is the first belief that I think games and internet and the next generation combined together, you could see in order for a business to survive, or in order for the esports that industry in order to be successful, you need that some element. But then you can see is all kinds of elements we have is the game is profit making, and again gaming industry is very big, and now a lot of people spend time more on internet, on games, on whatever ways IT stuff is much more than the traditional kind of entertainment. So I believe this is kind of trend, and you can see YouTube, you can see Twitch, and you are also a very successful YouTuber. You can
Oh,
see
shucks.
how many people will spend time on YouTube every day,
Yeah.
and you can see the content, the percentage of content in YouTube. I got a research from people is over 46% of YouTube content is related to games.
That's crazy. Yeah. Wow. It just goes to show you how much, this generation is transitioning from TV to more YouTube, to more computer, like you said, more screen time. I have so many follow-up questions there, AY. I don't even know where to start,
Yeah.
but I guess, to touch on some of the early struggles that you went through as really the only big esport clan in the game. You ran in very early on with some early rivalries, and it involved a lot of like questions regarding game ethics, right? So, and I had Trevor on the channel, and he actually did a really good job explaining this from his perspective as well. But I wanted to get your
Hmm.
take on it. Like the early times when, if a game has an inherent flaw in it, such as being able to win trade in Clash Royale, as an example, right? Do you think it's unethical as the players or the people who manage those players to take advantage of that flaw, or is the onus really on the developer to fix it, that way it can't be exploited anymore?
I think for that particular aspect, I do believe the developers need to step up to try to rectify it, because
Hmm.
you can't ask every player or every single player to try to okay, integrity wise, we do nothing on this.
Hmm.
But at that moment, at the early stage of the games, everyone noticed. I would treat it as a bug.
Uh-huh.
This bug have been in the games for quite a period of times. At that moment, everyone knows it. So uh, it will allow not only maybe some organization, maybe it allow all the organization to take advantage of it. Not just not just a single organization can create such effect on this bug, because that bug it exists in the game,
Hmm.
and everyone knows it. So I think the developer need to realize that this is a bug. So that's why they need to fix it. So I think from that bug up to the point the bug have been actually being eliminated or being minimized, I think the ladder or the game itself back to a much healthier competition. Because I can say this, if the bug exists, the competition will be not the real competition, it's more tricky.
Yeah.
That means you can do try to leverage on the bug to get a high ladder. But then no one enjoy the games. Then that ladder will have less meaning to a competition point of view. So that's why
Hmm.
for me, or for every organization, is we don't create that bug, and we don't want that bug to be exist anyway.
Yeah.
We just want it to be clear away, because from what we have is we have good accounts, good cards, we have good players. We really don't worry about any competition. You can see after the one being eliminated, our actually the how many sports or how many uh, accounts, top accounts we have in the ladder. Actually, from that point up to the recent season, you can see is we still take up maybe the top 50. We take up
Hmm.
half of it already. And when maybe for the top clans, maybe the top 20 clans, we have four or five or whatever.
Hmm.
But I'm not really uh, comfortable for seeing too many purple color. I think it's too purple. In fact, I want actually more competition. So I'm glad to see the Arabs as well as the 50 Kings merge
Hmm.
together to form the Sandstorm, and I can see Crucible and as well as the Shanghai OP Elite or whatever. They actually step up a bit to make the competition even more interesting. Because you if without competition, our even it's not good for us, because our pusher will feel too easy.
Hmm.
Our pro team player will feel the ladder as still our over, and that means no one will have that mindset of in a competitive mode. Then they will just focus on the tournament or whatever. But then ladder is also a good area to demonstrate skills, to make the clans, or to make the organizations, to make the player much popular. So that means we need to take a balance. So that's why I really enjoy more competition, and makes our player uh, being more competitive, and they need to put more time and put more effort in order to make sure they can win, and in order to make our Nova win. So I really enjoyed the current backdrops, but of course, now there's a lot more competition from the tournament, and there's the CCGS also been a very great event.
Yeah.
Allow more people to participate, and it become a schedule league or scheduled tourney, like RPL, like CR World or whatever. I think the current environment for Clash Royale is far better than just restart. So
Because
I really enjoy I really enjoy uh, the trend to move forward,
me
and
too.
especially more tourney and more official championship, or more official whatever kind of ways to uh, compete. I think this is really important, because this can allow more player to survive in the game, or play the games, or like YouTuber, you also enjoy to stay with the games, because it have uh, a series of events, a lot of things happening, makes every people excited. You have lots of topics, and that means your video, your content is all very good. So I
Hmm.
think the Clash Royale is moving towards that way. But of course, they need a
Yeah.
lot of improvement anyway.
Yeah, no, no. Well, two last questions for you. One is you said it still needs a lot of improvement, right there at the very last sentence. So, my question for you is that I'm sure there's going to be people on the Clash Royale team, like Supercell employees, watching this interview because you're a prominent figure in the community. You said there still needs to be
Hmm.
improvement in your eyes. What do you think if you had a message to the to Supercell about what does AY want to see the game as the leader of the most competitive clan or the top of the clan, at least on ladder? What do you want to see out of the game?
I want to see the game should have a mode of now they already come up with the two versus two
Hmm.
the game mode, but I think if we can have the two versus two game mode being become a formal ladder
Ladder,
or
yeah, yeah.
even a compact or even a competition. I think the two versus two mode is funny. It's funny because if I want to be relaxed and less stressful, I will play the two versus two. It's so interesting. Yeah.
Hmm.
But then I think the group play instead of the individual versus individual. I believe this uh, is better for the games and can extend the life of the game because individual versus individual uh, is very what I call is a so uh, sometimes if you keep looking at this, maybe you will get bored. So I think
Hmm.
the team based competition I think is important.
Yeah, more
Apart from
variables.
that,
Hmm.
yeah, I think apart from that is the two versus two. I think the two versus two in competition mode, I think they can make it even more interesting. Maybe like the two player actually only have one Elizabeth.
Oh, okay,
And
interesting. So yeah.
yeah, this is what I believe is interesting. Second
Okay.
is the card maybe within one game, the two player itself can exchange card maybe two times or three times. For
Ooh,
example, if
interesting.
I
Yeah.
think, yeah, if I think, oh, I want to attack and I still see some idle card over there. I think I can put it instead of just keep using my own deck. That's the game makes the cooperation between the player even more interesting.
Yeah, I like that idea. It's a little bit of a deck sharing thing going on in the match. It'd be interesting to see in the play test. This is a question that I can't let you go without asking you because it's probably one of my most frequent occurring questions in my comment section, and that is, how do a play? Okay, I'm an average player, or I'm an above average player who watches YouTube, watches streams, competes in small tournaments, but I think I've got what it takes. If only I had a max account, or if only I had a chance to try out for a competitive esports team, I think I could do really well. I have a lot of viewers like that. What would be your recommendation in, shed a little light on us how you select the people that you do to push your accounts or to sponsor or to contract? What is that process like, and what recommendations would you give to people who are hoping to maybe join Nova someday?
First, and now we in the past maybe not that systematic, but now we have a more systematic way
Hmm.
of player picking. We have a management team working in every major area, like because of Spanish speaking area, in English speaking area, in China, in Southeast Asia, in Middle East or whatever. We will
Hmm.
have a management team to try to do the client management as well as locate some good pusher for playing accounts. We will look at the local leaderboard as well as some result of the local tournament to try to find uh, what kind of player or what kind of good pusher is over there. Secondly, maybe we also do some Nova tourney. We will do more frequent. Maybe sometimes we will do monthly tourney in the past,
Hmm.
and so in some occasion we will do some tourney at some area on a weekly basis. So from that perspective, we also can spot some of the good or potential player. And from that perspective, we will have uh, a selection process, which is our pro team coach, Tag Adams, and Lucifer, and they all is the leader or the coach
Hmm.
of the pro team. They will do some selection quite set some selection criteria, and also do some testing. Maybe they will do some friendly matches with some of our player. We will use different decks to try to test the players how they deal with different kind of decks or variation of decks, because some player they are only good at one deck.
Yeah. Okay.
they
So you
they
need
they are
some versatility.
one deck for all. Then
Hmm.
but then you understand the current matters environments is one deck cannot survive all. You will have to be countered by some other deck, and there is a good variety of decks right now. Before the update is only Night Witch
Yeah.
and Battle Realm, but
Yes.
now it's much better.
Yeah.
So that means as a good player or as a potential to become a player, you need to handle variety of decks, and you need to handle different style of player, because our per team we have different style of player, maybe fast cycle, maybe some strategic play, or maybe some is always use tank
Hmm.
as a start to try and then uh, try vary with some supporting class or whatever. But I think you can see is it's the style you need to handle differently. And some style like Guanak, you all know he's the
Of course.
hot fish
He is the champ.
expert or whatever.
Yes.
You can see is his phrase is brilliant, the timing.
Yes.
Because and you the recent Papillon, his uh, balloon freeze is also brilliant. It's like a beast. So you can see it's some top that kind of matter is require a lot of calculations,
Hmm.
and also require instant,
Hmm.
because you after calculation and experience, and you have instant the basic instant to try to kill your enemies. So they will try to pick the right time to use the freeze. I saw many times they use the freeze for defense,
Hmm.
and sometimes Adam will use barrel for defense,
Hmm.
or for redirect some tank attention or whatever. You can
Hmm.
see a good player, even if you face a counter deck, you will try your best to utilize your deck or use your strategy and also your instinct to try to overcome the counter situation. So you can see why a lot of good pro player can survive the game, even they got uh, they got being countered, or even a hard counter. But of course,
Hmm.
if the pro player versus pro player and they got hard counter, I believe the chance of
A little
winning
trickier. Yeah.
will be minimal.
Indeed, indeed. I think that that's all really good advice, and I really like what you said about the intuition and having the wherewithal to do make those unorthodox plays, like you kind of outlined with Guanek's defensive freeze or with Adam's defensive goblin barrel. Uh, you mentioned they having the weekly tournaments in some areas and stuff like that. If players want to find out more about a Nova clan and their area and how they can possibly make a name for themselves, is that information on your website? What's the easiest way to kind of keep in touch with what's going on with Nova?
In fact, it's in the past they will come join our one of our feeder glands, country glands, or even the main glands to try
Okay.
to communicate. We also have chat rooms, line chat rooms, or chat rooms. But
Hmm.
of course, and also Twitter. Twitter also been a good way for to communicate efficiently. But of course, I know maybe there should be a more comprehensive way, more proper way to allow people to have more understanding on over, as well as try to communicate with
Hmm.
our team member or team manager or even team leader or pro team. I'm now working on, of course, I'm working on to revamp our website because our website actually is upgrading. But I believe the website should involve maybe a fence area or a voice area or whatever. So allow people to communicate over the website, as well as I also engage a studio to help to build the apps for our Nova eSports.
Oh, cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, so okay, so it sounds like for now the best way is to follow Nova on Twitter. Make sure I include that link, obviously, and then maybe just to even reach out right in game to try to request in one of the clans, say you're interested in joining or whatever, and get more information that way. And in the future, it sounds like maybe a new website and hopefully an app.
Yes,
All
the
right,
apps
cool.
is will be in place.
Oh,
So it's
nice.
no there's no it's not a hope. It's just it's on the way because
Okay, cool.
I think because we have our in-house merchandising. We have also have our pro team lesson as well as our own new Nova Esport TV to allow our player or our connected YouTuber streamers to put TVs on their videos or content into the apps channel. So that allow people have a one-stop shop
Oh,
not only
cool.
just for maybe communicate using WeChat, maybe what to watch video, need to do to the YouTube, or maybe check some Nova lesson in the website. If the apps can allow you to do all the things at one stop shop, I do believe it's convenient for all the player, all the fans, all the followers because
Yeah.
now we need to serve a bigger chunk of people. Uh, this you need to have technology to help.
Indeed, indeed. I think that that will be really cool when you have it. It's definitely something that I think that maybe other teams will probably follow suit with. It sounds like an awesome idea. But AY man, it is almost 2:30 a.m. where you are, so I just wanted to thank you so much for being so generous with your time here. Is there anything that you want to say before we let you go? Any shout outs or anything that you want to mention that Nova's currently working on?
Yeah, we will have the Hong Kong tournament.
Yes,
You probably know already.
I do.
The
Yeah.
Hong Kong tournament, the qualifier, the qualifying stage will be on 25th of August, and the final event will be on 27th of August. We have bilingual broadcasting, the Chinese, Cantonese broadcasting, as well as the English broadcasting, and we will also put on stream. So hope everyone can see our Nova events in Hong Kong. is my hometown. So I
Yeah.
hope we can make a good, I set a good example of how a Clash Royale tournament happen in Hong Kong. And also we also will provide the winner a contract as a pro player.
Wow. Sweet.
Yeah,
That's really cool. I didn't know that was involved. Who's going to be casting that in English, just so my viewers can check it out? Do you know yet?
it's Woody.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So I'll include Woody's stream information. You guys probably already know that already, but if you're interested, and I guess good luck at the tournament, AY, and thanks again for joining me, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much, Clay. I really enjoyed to be on your video as well. Next
Uh,
time, if we can have, because I know you are engaged for your for your personal stuff. So next time I will invite you to Hong Kong, and then we can stream together.
oh, that would be so cool, man. I would love to. Yeah, I have
You
a
should
bait.
play two versus two with me.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. That you have a deal, my friend. So I look forward to it. So thanks again, AY. It's just been a real pleasure chatting with you, finding out more about you, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Another huge shout out to AY for staying up late, coming on the channel. Really kind of him. I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope you guys did too. Make sure you check out my YouTube partner, Bren Chong, in the information below. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.